Welcome back to Desert Sun Crypto. I'm your host, the Desert Sun. After reflecting a bit about some of the videos that I posted in the past, what I'm going to do is rather than put together a 20-minute video for my channel, I'm going to separate it into what could be 4 or 5 minute videos, two 10-minute videos. Just play with it. Admittedly, there's not a lot of videos I watch that go past 15 minutes. I like it short, sweet, and to the point. However, at times there's some that I wish went longer. So, depending on how things go, I like playing around with this and getting inventive. Like I said, from the very beginning of starting this channel, I just want to, uh, give my own perspective on what I'm seeing, share with you some news, and hopefully get to learn something in the process. So thank you for tuning in. We're going to kind of do an international wrap up this episode. And I'm going to start with this from Coindesk. Israeli financial authorities double down on Bitcoin linked investments. And this article, getting down right into it, Israel's capital market insurance and savings authority is requiring insurance companies and investment houses to detail and justify any investments linked to Bitcoin, according to Israeli business publication Calculus. In all these articles that I'm going to share, there's going to kind of be a thread that hopefully I can take and tie it all off at the end. If you pick it up, awesome. But there's certainly some points here. Now, this isn't a long article, but it's just talking about, reporting any transactions that are linked to Bitcoin. According to Calculus, Wednesday's letter was issued in response to digital currency investment house Silver Castle and the Tel Aviv Stock Exchange announced that the country's first Bitcoin-linked bonds will trade on TazeUp, the exchange's trading platform for private companies. Financial authorities in the country have been tightening regulations around crypto. This sounds familiar to somewhere else that has been tightening up regulations, or maybe not tightening up regulations. Jumping over to Bitcoin.com, Central Bank of Argentina president hints at possible regulation of Bitcoin and payment systems. Regulation seems to be coming in every which direction. Miguel Peix, hopefully I pronounced that right, the current president of the Central Bank of Argentina, hinted at a possible regulation for Bitcoin and Bitcoin transactions in a digital financial conference organized by the Argentine Institute of Finance Executives, the IAEF. Yesterday, Peix stated the issue was very important to them to avoid linking Bitcoin with the traditional exchange market. Peix stated, "We are going to regulate the intersection of Bitcoin with the payment system and the exchange market." He then went on further to say that the central bank is not affected by the fact that these types of instruments can be used for transactions. Going a little bit further, there's definitely a worry on the consumer end with scams being had. Obviously, the Polygon DeFi 600 million hack that just happened. And so that is being used as ballast for the regulation. The fact they're happening at the same time is just very interesting to me. Bank of Ghana to pilot CBDC with German securities printing firm G&D. Now, this is very exciting for Ghana. And in this article, they even reference that G&D has been increasingly working with central banks like the Bank of Thailand and pilot CBDCs. The Bank of Ghana is making another step toward development of the central bank digital currency partner with the German currency technology provider. Jumping down the project of Ghana's digitization strategy, the Digital Ghana Agenda, aimed at digitizing data and government services for the country of 30 million people, also known as ECD. The digital CD aims to complement the country's traditional national currency as a digital alternative. According to the announcement, the CBDC should facilitate payments without a bank account, contract, or smartphone. So CBDC is popping up in Ghana. So congratulations to the Bank of Ghana in Ghana for moving forward with CBDCs. Still staying in the same region, there was this article out of CoinDesk, how crypto can help Nigeria's economy. From hedging hyperinflation to lowering the cost of cross-border remittances, crypto can improve financial inclusion in Africa's largest economy. Now, financial inclusion has been a theme for the last 2 years. We've heard in the World Economic Forum, as well as everyone else, with regard to exploring and broadening cryptocurrencies' touch on other countries. And so, this is extremely interesting. I think when we think of cryptocurrency and how little people talk about it, is what's happening in just the countries that I've just named, Nigeria, Ghana, many others in Asia. Now, these aren't, the G8, G20 countries. We're getting into like if there is such a thing, a G40 and G50 of the top economies in the world. It's going to be interesting to see what happens to those countries and what kind of innovation that creates for those spaces. Now, I thought this was interesting. At the very bottom of the article, they said still over 4 million worth of crypto assets have been traded in Nigeria this year. Says from Statista. Well, I've been mispronouncing that for a while. Someone correct me. A market data tracker said, market pundits attribute the growth to the way cryptocurrency limits central bank from imposing monetary controls. So really interesting story definitely to follow with regard to Nigeria and their economy. The overall just to this article that I found interesting was this rise of unemployment, which is said to hit 32.5% next year. Very scary numbers in a country like Nigeria, but also something to just keep in mind as unemployment is and seems to be rising amid the COVID crisis. From Cointelegraph, Stellar blockchain remittance corridor to power Thailand Europe payments. Now, this is very interesting. Now, I happen to know about 3 people who in the last year up and moved to Thailand. One, because they just wanted to get out of the United States. And 2, one being that they were able to work remotely and who wouldn't want to live in Thailand. And 2, Thailand just is very favorable to the dollar. However, there's been people from Europe and all over the world that have been moving to Thailand for years. And so having, this and what could be, a way to aid cross-border remittance from whether it's the United States and Thailand, but specifically here, Europe and Thailand is really interesting. Using Velo Labs blockchain-based financial protocol, local financial institutions, Tempo Payments, and Bitaza will host the cross-border remittance service connecting Thailand to 27 European countries. The corridor will host the Stellar blockchain and will make use of Velo tokens and Velo digital credits on the on-chain transactions. Again, this is another country. Thailand's been popping up a lot with regard to crypto. And in particular down here, the Bank of Thailand also raised concerns about the widespread of crypto, asking users to avoid paying in crypto for goods and services. The Bank of Thailand also plans to involve agencies such as the SEC to ensure that digital assets do not pose extensive risks to the general public or the economic and financial system. Jumping over across the Pacific to Chile, the Chilean peso stablecoin goes live on Stellar Network. Stellar's popping up, and for those of you who may or may not know, the Stellar Lumens XLM is certainly one that I am a huge fan of. Again, no, not a financial advisor, not financial advice here, but Stellar has been just on a roll. Now, this article down here says that the Chile-based firm CLPX Inc. launched what is described as the first ever Chilean peso peg stablecoin, dubbed the CLPX token. According to the public ledger on Stellar Expert, since the launch on Monday, the stablecoin has seen a limited volume of just 12,689 from the total of 12,902 trades. CLPX was designed to provide a cheaper alternative to traditional peso-based remittance, with the firm utilizing the Stellar network, as it incurs substantially lower fees than wire transfer or remittance services. So if you're confused by what's remittance and what's happening with this cross-border payment that I've mentioned, let's say I decide to move to London and you're stuck here in the United States, and I need, I don't know, $200 to pay a bar tab, and I'm low on funds. You said it to me, and because I am banking out of, let's say, I'm just going to call it the Bank of London, you're using Bank of America, for it to go from Bank of America to the Bank of London, we're talking about a number of fees that happen, and something that looks like a up to anywhere from 24-hour to even 3-day transaction for everything to clear. So while many of us are used to that, there's technology that is expediting that, and this idea of cross-border remittance happening within seconds is certainly something that this space is capable of taking care of. So where does all this go? I've talked about Chile, Argentina, Ghana, Israel, and there's this thread that goes in, and the theme here is regulation, and also adoption that is happening and what we're seeing around the world. Now, this is kind of the elephant in the room when we're talking about cryptocurrency, and I can't help but point out the bill that happened to really gain its popularity. Even though it was about infrastructure, it became as much about cryptocurrency as it is about the actual bill itself, which, from my perspective, did not necessarily have to tie in cryptocurrency, but just happened to based on how it was sold and added and potentially thrown in there as a catalyst or a way to prevent cryptocurrencies from reaching their full potential here. I've said in many episodes that I think that this is a method, and a very clever one, of bringing cryptocurrency to a level that we have not yet seen. And I'll tell you, folks, we're not going back to where we were a year ago, where cryptocurrencies were seen as volatile and a bad investment, and just a conspiracy theory, type of financial system. This is something that will be adopted. I have no doubt. I've put a lot of faith in what I've seen, and I've seen nothing but things that point us in that direction. Now, that's not financial advice. That's just the reality of what we're looking at here. And I think what we're going to see in the house over the next couple weeks is more clarity, more exposure for cryptocurrency. And, you know, at the end of the day, what is it doing? Not only is it helping the brand of cryptocurrency, but I'll tell you, I've seen nothing but cryptocurrencies, coins moving up and to the right, which is a good thing for the space. But that will do it for me. This is the Desert Sun. Thank you for tuning in to Desert Sun Crypto. Look forward to seeing you here very soon.